Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.
Good day and welcome to Africa Investor Today with me, Zylan. In today's business news, we start with politics and economy. Growth in Africa will slow a bit more than initially thought this year as the continent battles a collapse in exports and tight global financial conditions, the International Monetary Fund said. In its latest World Economic Outlook released on Wednesday, the IMF projected gross domestic product growth in the resource-rich continent slowing to 1.7% from 1.8% it estimated in July. It grew 5.2% in 2008. A 25-member business delegation from Germany that arrived in the country on Tuesday got an insight into the political and economic developments in the country through various presentations by local organizations. Zimbabwe Investment Authority Board Chairperson Mrs. Mara Hativagona said although there have been a plethora of problems in the country, the economy was turning around. Zimbabwe is in the process of rebuilding itself and investment has been given high priority by government, and we believe that this is sufficient to regain investor confidence. After the break, we'll take a look at banking and finance news.
Redefining energy means redefining life. At the Petroleum, Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, our commitment to greater innovation and greener fuels has made us pioneers in the field of gas-to-liquids technology. It has also earned us worldwide recognition for producing the cleanest fuels through environmentally friendly processes. That's how we've become the international leader in diesel technology. Through pure innovation, pure energy, pure brilliance.
In some banking and finance news now, amid speculation on the outcome of the audit of the remaining 14 banks, the Central Bank of Nigeria says it has no plans to enforce any form of consolidation on the remaining 24 existing banks in the nation, despite the present situation in the sector. Mohammed Abdullahi, spokesperson of the CBN, said on Wednesday that there is no plan on ground to enforce any form of merger or consolidation. The central bank will definitely not impose any form of bank consolidation, irrespective of the results of the audits or otherwise. Ghana may reduce interest rates for the first time since 2006 if inflation in the Western African country continues to slow, said Kwesi Amasai Arthur. I expect that as inflation goes down, we should start bringing down the prime rate. The bank has raised the prime rate to 18.5% from a low 12.5% in December 2006. Even so, the bank failed to achieve its inflation targets in 2007 and 2008, bringing inflation targeting into question, Amasai Arthur said. When we come back, we'll take a look at some news on companies and markets.
Afrexim Bank is Africa's leading trade finance bank, an organization dedicated to promoting African trade through credit, risk-bearing and advisory services. We pride ourselves on having local presence throughout the continent and are committed to extending our award-winning trade and project finance programs to unlock private sector development continent-wide. We invite you to become a part of our vision for a strong Africa in a changing world. If you trade within Africa, contact us to support you.
Welcome back. In companies and markets news now. MTN Group Limited, Africa's biggest wireless operator, and India's Bharti Airtel Limited may seek to resolve regulatory hurdles and restart talks after scrapping a proposed $23 billion merger yesterday. Bharti and MTN, which abandoned negotiations for the second time in 2 years, left the door open for a possible revival of the deal after the deadline for exclusive talks ended yesterday. Bharti said the structure of the deal failed to get approval from the South African government. With time, I'm confident we'll overcome any regulatory hurdles and achieve our long-term objectives, Azmi Mikati, Chief Executive Officer of M1 Group, MTN's second largest shareholder, said in an email. There was a lot of hard work invested in trying to combine these two entities into what would have been the leading emerging markets mobile operator. Morocco's Casablanca Bourse, which has returned the world's highest gains for investors, plans to double the number of listed firms over the next few years, its chief said on Wednesday. The North African country's stock market aims to increase the number of its individual investors to 500,000 from about 120,000 currently, as part of a drive to become Africa's second stock market hub after South Africa, Karim Haji added. Stay with us, we'll be back after the break.
Africa Investor, the leading African investment magazine, is essential reading for investors in Africa, filled with the very latest in Pan-African investment and finance news. In addition, log on to africa-investor.com to find out more about our exciting capital market infrastructure and tourism events, and our long-standing investable Africa Investor 100 Index Series, which tracks over $600 billion of African equities. Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
And finally, now in infrastructure news, cabling, structural supports and galvanizing company O-Line is planning to intensify its presence in Africa to benefit from development on the continent. Releasing results yesterday, CEO Graham Smart said the group aimed to benefit from an increase in mining and infrastructure projects. We have opened a branch in Mozambique and are looking at doing the same in Angola and Ghana. At the moment, we prefer having joint ventures with companies already operating in the African countries. Smart said. Revenue was up 81% to 313 million rand for the year ended in June. Net profit climbed 91% to 39 million rand, while headline earnings per share jumped 43% to 21 rand 79 cents per share. Coal producer Thuli Coal Mine Limited has produced 15,000 tons of coal at its Beitbridge mine in a move that is expected to ease coal shortages on the market. The mine is producing coking coal used principally for metallurgical purposes and in steel production. Coal has four major markets: electricity utilities, industrial retail users, the steel industry and exports. Managing Director of the company, Mr. Tongai Mazudenda, was naturally elated about the developments. Yes, I can proudly say that we have met our target for 15,000 tons for the first month. We are working on increasing the tonnage to at least 35,000 tons next month. Thank you for joining us today. For more business news and stories, log on to our website at www.africa-investor.com. From East Island, cheers for now.
Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.